the co-chair for the Family Support Council, as well as Craig is the other co-chair. And we also have our vice chair, Adrian Fairley. And so we welcome you all to our meeting. Just a reminder of what our purpose is. The Family Support Council is a body of people with disabilities, their families, parents, self-advocates that are coming together to advise and give recommendations to government agencies to ensure they are person-centered, family-centered, and to make sure that they're actually maximizing in every way that we're getting our loved ones, or even maybe ourselves that are a person with a disability, to get the services and supports that are needed across the lifespan. So the Family Support Council is not limited to children 18 and under or adults, but it's across the lifespan. So we are glad to come together today to make sure we are fulfilling our purpose. Family Support Council does operate under the Open Meetings Act. Therefore, there are some requirements in which we must conduct this meeting. One is to ensure that it is recorded. So I do want to make sure I let everyone know that it is being recorded. And please feel free to choose what you would like to share, but please note it is recorded and it will be placed on the DDS website. As for today, we've already kind of gone through, well, one of them, the welcome. And now we have established through Craig that we do have a quorum today. So we are glad that Craig and Adrian, Shawnee, I'm going too fast here, and who else is with us? Zeb is with us today. And we are glad to have you as well. And then we have a few in our community, which we are glad to have. Oh, Lisa. Hello, Lisa, as well. Pam,
Hi.
Carol. Hey there. And Shantae, I believe. So welcome you all to the Family Support Council meeting. One of the minutes, Vice Chair, did you have anything to share concerning previous minutes or anything?
We're pretty much on up to speed. There we did the breakouts. That was going to be very important, setting up those breakouts for today, and who is going to join and participate in the breakouts. So we have a good even amount of people that are going to be in the different breakout rooms and ready for discussion and building those recommendations so that we can pass them to you and Craig and then on to those other
Okay.
agencies.
Okay, so you've already went into the recommendations subcommittee. So just to give everyone some background
Oops.
to what is going on concerning our work today. Craig, did you want to take an opportunity to share
Um, to share what?
the
Forgive me.
subcommittees and where our
Oh, yes.
priorities are? Would you like to move forward?
Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
Great to see everybody today. You know, we have our two subcommittees, one on policing and neurodiversity and mental health, and one on Medicaid renewals and making sure that those go quicker and that they're granted because, you know, basically everyone's entitled to them. And so they should be granted as a matter of course, unless there's been a significant change. So,
And we have a third, and the third is for the
open
Family
meetings.
Support Council to be disconnected from the OMA, Open
Yes.
Meetings Act.
Yeah.
Is
So,
Mhm.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, for the third,
Mhm.
it is a subcommittee, but it's, you know, ultimately, so we hope everyone supports it though.
Mhm.
Um, and that it's a subcommittee in the sense that we're trying to implement it and get people to support it and get the council to move us out of that so that we can meet with people and sometimes have it be private where they're talking about personal medical issues or medical or disability related issues for their for their loved one or for themselves. So, you know, that's those sort of things shouldn't be talked about in public. But, we have a public component, and so we think that we have a way to basically be taken out of the open meetings law, but also still report to the council. So we'll still be having a public, people will know what we're doing. We'll still have these open meetings, but there'll be a part where we could close the meeting and make it like an executive session where we wouldn't have to have that disclosed to protect people's rights under the ADA and other, laws like that. So, on the first subcommittee, we've been engaged with the police department, and we are hoping to have either the police chief or some of the leadership in that department come and speak to our council. They're also updating their mental health policy and creating a neurodiversity policy, and we are supposed to see those and give feedback before they're issued. So hopefully that'll be happening over the next couple months. And so that's going to be the focus of the police subcommittee this year. I'm the chair, the subcommittee chair of that committee. Rhonda's the chair of the Medicaid renewal.
No,
Oh,
I'm not.
no, forgive me.
Adrian is. Adrian.
Oh, Adrian, our
Mhm.
vice chair, Adrian, forgive me, Adrian.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
he's the chair, and so if she wants to talk about that, I turn over to her.
So we are, I'm looking for Daisy right now. So she and I have had opportunity to have some conversation, and there are two other folks that are going to be with us in the breakout rooms. But we're really looking to do some deep dives with Medicaid, coming up with those those medications, not medications, the recommendations. And Daisy and I are pretty much in concert with where both of us are. So we're raring to go. We're just ready to go and get it started.
No, I did want to say that I wanted
Mhm.
to make sure that as Adrian had stated about herself and another council member, but it is open to everyone today
Yes.
to select which committee they would like to participate in to give their input, or to hear what's going on that we've heard, and maybe you can add to or give clarity in whatever way so that we are able to consolidate everyone's information and possible recommendations so we can submit those. So again, there is the MPD and how they interact with our community. There are recommendations that Craig will be leading that particular group, and Adrian will be leading the group concerning Medicaid, and mainly the recertification process, but not limited to. We do want to be able to hear, and same with any of these areas, that we want to hear what the community is seeing or experiencing for themselves. And then the Open Meetings Act, and I see Carol, that you got your answer. So that's good. As Craig or myself was speaking concerning the Open Meetings Act, Craig and even Lisa, you all are members of the community that were a part of the Family Support Council in the past. And so what we're really saying is we want it back the way we used to have it. I mean, the way in which we used to be able to meet. And now it's different. It doesn't really allow for the causing this place to be a safe haven to be able to share what you're experiencing. Because now, even though we would still record it for the purposes of the leadership team for minutes and things, but now, in the past, we didn't have to record and then post it, on the website. And sometimes people are sharing things, or a lot of times they're sharing very personal experiences. And we want to make sure people still feel like this is a platform where you're able to do that. And therefore, we are able to advocate in the way to offer those recommendations. So I do want to ask, and hello, Chioma, good afternoon. If these breakout rooms, Catherine, are up and running.
Yep, I can launch those if you're ready for that. I can certainly launch those. So they are labeled shorthand based on the priorities. And so everybody can assign themselves to the one that they either signed up for voting members or are interested in. If you're part of the community, and if you have If you need some help, feel free to send me a message or say, hey, can you put me in whichever room you want to go into? All right. Are you ready for rooms to open?
I'll just ask to make sure if everyone has any questions first, if they're still contemplating which subcommittee they would like to be in. I'm opening the floor for any questions or comments before we go into the breakout rooms. And I would say at this point, where are we? 117. Do we want to make it what 45 minutes, maybe 30, 35?
I don't know if we'll have 35 minutes worth of content.
Okay, well, remember, you do have to write these things down and be able to hear from everyone. So that's why I said, and if you don't, I guess we will come back into.
Sure, but we're dividing into 3 groups.
Yes, we are.
How many people do we have? 6?
Well, at one time we had, and I'm trying to
12.
look. No, we have 12.
We have 12? Okay,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that should be
Oh,
enough.
yeah, it is.
Subcommittees, please.
Sure.
Hi.
Hi there, Chioma. The subcommittees are, the first one is giving recommendations to the MPD concerning their interaction with our community. The second is Medicaid, and we have been doing a lot of focus on the recertification process, but like I said, not limited to that. We want to be able to hear what other things people are experiencing with Medicaid. And then the last one is the Open Meetings Act, and the recommendations or input to give so that we could be disconnected, not having to adhere to the Open Meeting Act. And Chioma, you would remember this, to be able to function the way we did before the Open Meetings Act, when Family Support Council first started 10 years ago. All right, does that give clarity?
Yes, thank you.
And I have a question. So just before we get started, to do the breakout rooms, can someone specifically, probably Catherine, or just let everyone know exactly how to get into the breakout rooms? Are they going to appear on our screen and then we're just in there, or just in case?
Yeah, good point. So you should get, when the breakout rooms are open, you should get a prompt. There should be a little box that pops up that says join a breakout room, and then gives you the option to select which one you'd like to join. So you can just pick the one that sounds like where you want to be in the discussion you want to have, and it should put you right in there. I can set a timer if you want to agree on a time that you want those breakout rooms to be open. And then when those close, everybody will automatically be put back into the main meeting room like we are right now, so that we can continue with the rest of the meeting. Is there a time you want on those breakout rooms? Did you land on that?
I'm going to say 25 minutes, and if things are not concluded, we can discuss once we come back together.
Okay.
Does that work for everyone else? Subcommittee leaders?
Yep.
All right. All right.
All right.
I believe we're ready. I don't see any other questions at the moment. Mhm.
Okay, very good.
Okay, there we go. Okay, join Medicaid. There.
Yep, and if you need help, just tell me your name and where you want to go.
Medicaid, please. Chioma Oru.
Okay.
This is Pam Long. I like to go in Medicaid as well.
Which one is this? Oh, this is 425. Okay.
Catherine,
Oh, barely. You're breaking up a bit.
hold on.
Oh, maybe that's better. Which room would you like to be in?
Hello?
Yep, I can hear
I'm
you.
talking, but
I got logged out.
Yeah, so we're joining subcommittee breakout rooms right now. So we have the option of Medicaid, the Open Meetings Act, and then the police focused
Police, the
subcommittees.
Taki,
Where would you like to go?
the police.
Police? Okay. You'll be
Thank
there in
you.
just a minute. Hey,
hey, Katri, put me in OMA.
okay. All right, Shantae, where would you like to go?
The police.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hello? Hello?
So she got herself a job, so she worked in there.
Mm-hmm. You've been there. Hello? That was quick.
We gotta go to the other place, down the street. 425. Cause I worked in all, pretty much all these buildings. That's how I know where.
Hey, folks, we're in breakout rooms for the subcommittees, so you can pick which one you'd like to go in, or I can put you where you want to go.
Are you, Catherine, are you talking to me or someone else?
You and everybody else that's in the main room, do you want to go to Medicaid?
Yeah, I'm going to Medicaid.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Catherine,
Yep.
can you send me to the, I keep getting locked out, kicked out.
Yeah.
So before I was in the room and it was just two people.
Oh, yeah, there should be in police, there look like they're about 5, but I can send you right back there.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, join is what I,
Yep. All right. Hey, Amani.
Sorry, I just came back from the restroom.
No worries. You have to take that when you can. So they're doing the subcommittees for their priorities for this year. And so they have one for the police interactions, they have one for disconnecting from Open Meetings Act, and then they have one for Medicaid.
Okay.
Do you want to go to a particular place? We have the room set up to be open a total of 25 minutes, and I think it's probably been 10-ish.
Maybe the Medicaid one.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
Oh, no. No, I just got booted out. Help me. I didn't mean to get booted out. How can I get back in? I guess I can't get back in. This is crazy.
You're here. You're in the main room now.
Yeah.
Right, but I didn't want to, I was trying to start writing the recommendations and I clicked the leave button instead of the other button.
Okay, so
Um,
we were gonna come back and see where everyone kind of stood at this
Right.
point, because we do want to give some time. Because the other two groups, even though I'll be a part of all of this and already
Uh-huh.
have given a lot of recommendations, but
Mhm.
I do want to give time to the two, Medicaid and the police, you know what I'm saying, for you
So we,
all to give your
mhm.
space.
I was just starting to work on specifics about the recommendations with just Daisy's recommendations before
Okay, so
Chioma had some good,
summary.
right,
Mhm.
so we were in I was hoping that we would have a little bit more than 25 minutes, but that's okay.
But we
But
started
I
there.
did start working on, we just are gonna have to, probably gonna have to come back. But when and how, I don't know. But I had actually started working with Daisy's concepts to create the recommendations for what she wants
Okay.
to add. Mhm.
Okay, so if
Yeah,
you could just present from the perspective of the whole group, you know what I'm saying, of
right.
what was discussed, and then we'll go to Craig after that.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
they're probably still
Oh,
talking.
I'm sorry. Hold on, Adrian, just a minute.
Okay.
Did someone have to leave it too? Was that Carol? Who was that? Oh, I remember someone telling me. Carol. Yeah, did you want to, and you feel like Craig captured whatever you wanted to share? Um,
Oh, I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really, really good discussion.
Okay.
Um,
Carol's an expert and we have a lot of, yeah, I have 4 things from her to share.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to make sure, I couldn't remember who it was that said they would have to exit. I just wanted to make sure we got their input. So, Adrian, I believe you had started talking. If you wanted to just give a summary of what was discussed in your group as recommendations, you can just talk from a general
Okay.
perspective.
So
Okay,
do you want me to start talking now or when the other, our group?
I think
Uh,
everyone's back now.
It's back.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
we're
great.
all in the main room.
Okay, so Chioma led off and her focus in terms of the recommendations were being able to really do some deep dives with the current on the advisory panel, some of the research that she's been doing with this whole process is the issues of street parking, long distances and long waits in terms of times and how we can literally shorten those things. And this is going to pretty much bleed into some of what Daisy was talking about and the evaluations, doctor's offices, having a set plan. So some of the things that I was sharing that I do is how to navigate people through a medical system because it helps to streamline the process and make it a little bit better for those people who are caregivers and going in with a family member, be they someone that's, yeah, a child, just again, across the lifespan, all the way through someone that's going in, let's say, with a support person that's not a family member. So having some of those supports in place, recommending that families have a protocol that's set up so that they can avoid some of the pitfalls because medicine has changed and it's no longer medically driven. There's a lot of pharmaceutically driven challenges, and you have probably about 10 minutes per visit. And how to, just some of the safeguards that will cause that family member to be able to be more effective with their family member. Um, Daisy's was very extensive, and her focus is on some of the gigantic issues that took place from 2023 until the end of 2024. A lot of these issues that have come up are substandard. They're not allowing the caregivers I'm sorry, they have not done enough training for the current DCH and or district direct staffs to be effective. It's all over the place. It still is all over the place. Her recommendations, and I kind of helped with taking the information that she was giving us, that there be a protocol. Some of these protocols are to be put into place, that staff has complete training, because they don't have it, they're not able to implement it. So if you have one portal opened up, that other portal, meaning if DCH is open and has you in their portal, District Direct is sometimes, or their technology is fighting each other, and you end up with absolutely nothing. To work on streamline, we'd like to have some recommendations about streamlining the protocols, so that when a person, even on the inside of the agency, looks, they'll know exactly what they need to do and who they need to do it for. And then bringing both of these agencies together to create a more, again, efficient process. It's not efficient right now. It is not serving the population that it's supposed to be serving. And then we still didn't have opportunity to really finish. And then the last piece, which was myself, and that was dealing with, again, creating the recommendations to have more accountability overall for all of the agencies that do serve our population medically. And that's the focus here, is medically. So we got a great start, and I would say that we probably need to come back at some point and really, really, really have a little bit more time to address it. But I think that we're on the right track. And I think that when we have these recommendations, pinpointed, and we're very clear on paper, that it's going to be effective. How was that? Quick and fast. I can't hear. I'm like lost.
Fault. That's my fault. I was muted. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate it.
Okay.
And all those in that subcommittee. Thank you. And your input. And Craig will let you in your group with the MPD.
Yes.
Mhm.
So we had a really good meeting. Let me pull up there's a lot of interest. And so we went over what we've done in the last year, including our meeting with the communications department, and also the anticipated visit by a high-level police department executive, maybe the chief, to come and meet with us as a committee. In terms of our goals, we've added a few goals. So our initial goals, which we're still seeking to achieve, is to get a neurodiversity policy and an updated mental health policy and by the way, that neurodiversity policy may be just intellectual developmental disability and neurodiversity policy. So, we're gonna make it broad, but we want to get those policies back from the police department so that we can give our feedback. And we want to make sure they don't forget to do them. So that still remains our policy, one of our main goals for the year. A second main goal is to have the chief or someone that reports to the chief come to our committee and speak with us and again, begin a real engagement with them back and forth. And then I have some additional proposed goals from some of the members of the subcommittee. So Shani, for example, and when I'm done, I'm gonna give each of them a chance to add to what I say in case I missed anything. Shani would like us to do a real focus on safety and elopement, so as to provide, for example, for free air tags or trackers, GPS trackers, particularly for children who may elope, who may have difficulty in communicating, to make sure that they're safe. A lot of cities do this. I remember my old city, Coral Gables, they provide that for free. So, DC should provide that for free. And also creating safety centers, or at the very least, a real process where you can get to know a police officer in your ward and they get to know your child with IDD, and that's kept on file so that if they respond to your house, they'll be careful and respectful. There's Smart 911 right now, but one issue that Shani raised was that Smart 911 is not always checked. And so it's not as effective as it could. So also creating a policy for the communications department, if they have Smart 911, that they always must check Smart 911 and always must provide that information to the dispatched police officers or fire department, firemen and firewomen. In addition, we want more informational sessions with the police department to the public, and easier ways to get, this is a very specific, this is something maybe we could achieve too. Easier ways to get police reports by loved ones for someone who has IDD. So perhaps next of kin. I mean, hopefully it won't be but the person that would be the next of kin, hopefully, or the caregiver or the guardian or an immediate family member, making it a little bit broader so that police reports can be obtained more quickly. Then Carol proposed that and this has been something we've done, although I don't know if it's a specific goal, but that wonderful report done by the Developmental Disability Committee on what the police needs to do to reform, that they want our allyship in getting that adopted. And we have raised that with the police department, and we've asked them to incorporate that into these two policies. But maybe reaching out to the Developmental Disability Committee to let them know about that more and engage and have them also advocate. It's a great idea. In addition, community response teams, taking a look at that and how those are being used, and that those individuals, if it's community response teams responding instead of the police, that these individuals are adequately trained. And what is the policy in regards to that? And I'll have Carol, if she's still on.
If I could just say super fast, because I do have to jump off. It's any of the entities that what I'm concerned about is any of the entities that are overseen by the Department on Behavioral Health.
Yes.
Starting with the community response teams, but also extending to CPEP, where the triage is done for crisis response in DC, where often that's where the police will take people who are having some kind of psychiatric issue. And I am not at all persuaded that the Department on Behavioral Health is sensitized enough to forms of disability that may affect cognition. In other words, I think they may tend to focus too much on people who are going to fully understand everything that gets said to them, fully respond, to whatever is said to them. And that's not going to always be the case. But I do think that NPD has a tendency to want to hive people off toward DBH as their solution, right? And it may not be a solution because DBH itself may not be adequately sensitized. So. And now I have to run.
Perfect.
Thank you so
And
much, everybody.
Carol, what about the DBH one? Are you able to talk about that briefly?
I just did.
Okay, that
Sorry.
was incorporated. So that's not a separate one.
See, CRTs are under the jurisdiction of DBH.
Sure, but didn't you want us to, in addition to that, didn't you want us to have the police and DBH, maybe have them come as well to our forgive me if I misinterpreted. So we're doing this engagement with the police. Do you want us to do the engagement with DBH too?
Well, I'm not proposing that this group should take on the world. Okay. What I would like you to be able to communicate to the MPD is that simply turning to DBH and thinking that they have solved the neurodiversity issues, the issues of intellectual disability and so forth, that solves it. Okay. That hiving it off to DBH solves it. It does not solve the problem. Okay. Yeah. So I just want MPD to be aware of that too. Then maybe they can put a little bit more pressure on DBH to expand their own awareness of people with other disabilities and so forth. I don't expect you. I mean, I wouldn't mind if DBH would come, but I don't want to be unrealistic about what the group can take on.
So we can continue we'll continue to focus on the police department, but we will raise these issues with DBH.
Sure. Yeah.
Perfect. And
All
then
right,
Lisa,
thanks everybody.
Can I add
thank you so
Carol?
much, Carol.
Can I add
And then
Carol before you
Lisa?
go real quickly? Did
What?
you know that
I
the
just want to,
DBH Ombudsman has an advisory council that they're starting up? That may be another way to engage. You may be interested
that's a
in
good
that.
idea.
Why don't you contact me
Definitely.
offline, Chioma,
Okay.
and maybe
I'll
we can
email you
talk
now.
about it. I'd love to know about that. Yeah, thanks. All right.
Chioma, you said the DBH has an advisory committee.
The
I just wanna-
DBH Ombudsman,
An
the DBH
ombudsman, okay.
Ombudsman's office, which is the oversight on what goes on
Okay.
with DBH. Her name is Patricia Thompson. She's starting an advisory council. So, she's looking for people who are interested in joining her committee to understand systemic issues. I'll put that in a chat for
Okay.
Catherine, and Yep, and also email. Sorry.
Thank you. No, thank you. That's a really good point. So, and I just wanted to thank Lisa and Shantae for attending, and they're interested in participating, and they're gonna think about additional goals potentially in the future. So, and they support all the goals that were expressed. Shantae and I just want to make sure
Bonnie?
and Lisa, is there anything else you wanted to add? Either of you? Or Shani, you had a number of things. Did I get those correct?
Yeah, I think you got
Oh, I'm sorry.
everything. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go.
No, please, Shani. You go, Shani.
Oh, I thought someone else was talking. I think you listed everything. I want to ensure that we also mention the blue envelope program that New York City has.
You did. Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Did you
sorry about
mention
that.
Okay.
I
All
didn't
right.
mention that. Can
Okay.
you say what that is real fast?
Yeah, so that program is literally aimed to improve interactions with individuals who have autism
Yes.
prior to any incidents. I
Mm.
think DC needs to adopt something very, very similar, not just for the individuals with autism, but also the caregivers. Let's say if they even have aides or nurses that come in, I think that is very necessary. And then any family members, I think that's necessary too, even if they don't live in the home, because you can get so many different perspectives, and then that gives the police or the crisis interventionist so much more information. Um, I also think we need to mention some type of partnership with the Justice Department to utilize grants for the training. So, like Carol said, more than likely the police will shift some of this to DBH, but dealing with DBH and their crisis response team for adults with mental health crisis as well as children, they're severely understaffed. So it really doesn't matter the type of training or anything if you don't have people to implement it.
Right.
So we need to talk about ensuring that there's enough staff on duty to even respond. And then when we talk about the training, I think using grants from the Justice Department could also assist with that. We need ABA providers. We need possibly even occupational therapists because we have individuals that have severe sensory issues. So, in order to, um, let's just say, decrease behaviors or during that interaction with the police, if they're overstimulated with sensory, how do you teach that? How do you teach that to a police officer? How do you teach that to a crisis response individual? So we need to bring in some providers, and we need them to be specialists, and they need to be paid well. We need money to do it. So I think that covers everything now. I'll be quiet. Thanks.
You go,
And can
Shy.
I would love to say, just to add to what Shawnee is saying, I think that this would work. This is probably needed across the board for the three areas that we're talking about. Absolutely. Um, and the lack of staffing. There is definitely a huge lack of staffing. So we could train all day long and still people are falling through the cracks. So that was a great concept about the ABA providers as well as the OTs. We just got an OT that's working with Yanina and it's working, she said it's gonna take about a year to 2 years, but it's something that should be implemented. But if there aren't enough people, and there are probably more people out there who will do the work, to come on board. So that's the agencies that we're talking about that need to open up and look for the possibility of bringing additional staff on that can actually handle what we're talking about. Thank you.
Well, thank you. So that's my report. I see Toki wants to talk too, but I just let me conclude and then we'll open it up to you, Toki.
This
But
is
I just
Taki.
want to,
I keep
yeah,
Craig. This is
yeah.
Taki. I keep getting logged. I keep getting kicked out.
Yeah.
Oh
I
no,
don't know
I'm
what's going
sorry.
on with the system.
I,
Yeah, I
I'm
think the
sorry.
police need to be trained more, and to be more friendly. I live in Ward 5, and the police are really nice in Ward 5. And I haven't seen any problem with children yet. So hopefully the next meeting I won't keep getting kicked out because it's frustrating.
Thank
Thank you.
you, Taki. I'm sorry that that's happening, and we'll note that, and you'll be involved when the police come, and you can tell them about Ward 5, but also that we need improvements in other areas. So that's great. So that's our subcommittee report. We're going to be putting these goals together and talk about them more at the next meeting. I'll turn over to Rhonda again.
All right, Pamela, did you have something you wanted to say?
Not really, because Daisy answered most of my questions, her and Andre. But we was like the Medicaid. I was telling the issues I would have with my oldest grandson. He got Medicaid, but he's not. I need for. I have service to special need because somehow the paperwork's getting lost in that area. But he's got so long as he got Medicaid, I'm fine. But when I take him to the doctor and stuff, I got to show him the Medicaid card will have several children with special needs on it.
Okay. And so
Okay.
you were in that
But
group.
the number's still the same, his social worker told me. But I agree with everything everybody was saying, that people need more training. The communicate really is more communicate with the kinship care and people. That's the biggest problem, is no communication.
All right, thank you so much, Pamela. I just want to make sure it looked like you were attempting to try to say something, so I wanted to give you the platform. I had a couple questions. What exactly, to explain to everyone, including myself, as for the safety centers? Could someone give me, you mentioned safety centers, Craig. And what are those safety centers?
Shani, this was Shani's idea. So let me
Yeah,
turn
so
over.
it's an idea
Okay.
that I believe in all 8 wards, a safety center should be located. A safety center can offer a temporary place either until the police can be reached, if necessary, or the family of the individual. So let's say you're at the mall and you see an individual. This individual comes up to you. You recognize immediately, because you have that awareness that not only do they have a disability, that they're looking for help. I think that most of us have had positive but also negative interactions with the police, and we don't always call the police. So this should be an alternative if you find someone and you're like, "Hey, I really don't wanna do the police thing, like, is there a safe space I could take this individual?" There's documentation, so there's a soft handoff where, you list your information, where you found them, all those great things, and then you let them do the work. So you have people who are not in uniform, who don't have, guns. It's more welcoming. I would think that it would be less of a sensory overload. I would also think that it would be comforting, meaning it could be stocked with snacks, things of that nature, that a regular police precinct, because that's what they do, and if it's an adult, they call adult protective services. It's just an environment that I think, um, it could literally be an accommodation to a police precinct, honestly.
Right,
Um
right.
I'm thinking of
I
additional measures or descriptions to use. I'm not sure if they have them in other states. I've looked, but I haven't seen what I'm thinking about. But that's the bulk of it. Something within these communities, and even if an individual with a disability gets lost, this would be a location that maybe we can teach our children or our adults to actually identify and go to. Um, so it's like, an extension of an emergency situation or an extension of a police precinct.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm glad you explained it. Because I know for myself, I was like, I like the sound of it, but I could not think about exactly what it looked like, right? One of the things I was thinking too, as Craig was sharing those information, comments, is that maybe the way in which they could interact better with our community. You know how sometimes the police department, and maybe they do or don't, but it used to be that they'd have some type of event, right? For the community, and the police department came out and they hosted it or whatever. And maybe they need to be intentional, you know what I'm saying, to make sure we have a presence there, or they have, that we're welcome in that way. Our families, our family members, or whoever it may be, or families in general. Which then could also be something connected to, the whole safety center thing. Shawnee, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they
Just
used to do the night
right.
out. I think they used to call it like something night out. And they would
Yeah,
come out in the community. Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
maybe promoting something like that, that if we don't bring our child to them and it's at a park or whatever, right? But at least they maybe make the effort, like they put up, and please don't take this the wrong way, that our children are not objects, but there's a fire in a community. What do? They go and go give the fire alarms, right? You know what I'm saying? Why aren't
Local
they
community.
engaging? You know what I'm saying? Or they see about those who are of older age. You see the times that, I don't know if they do it all in all wards, but I've seen where they've gone and tried to see about those individuals. So maybe suggesting those types of things as well, Craig, and to add to the other things I've said before. But yeah, those types of things I think would
All,
be a
it's
good
all
idea.
noted, and we're gonna put together the additional recommendations. Thank you. Thank you,
I
Ronnie.
believe it's called the National Night Out.
There we go.
Yes.
I believe
Yes,
it's
sir.
called the National Night Out, is when the police come into different or various neighborhoods and throw those events. That's what it's called.
Right. And of course, we would be willing to offer what that may look like, or, for our community, and how to be inclusive in that way. And if that's not what works initially, whatever works for our community, right? Because I think sometimes it may be overstimulating, you know what I'm saying? A whole, create
Yeah.
something that we don't want to put our loved ones in the situation, but we are able to create an atmosphere that could then, we would be kind of shadowing, you know what I'm saying, what this should look like and what it looks like when you interact, you know what I'm saying, with our family members. So that's just another thing I was going to
I
say.
may say, I just wanted to express my appreciation to Shawnee for all of these ideas. And and this may not be true for every subcommittee, but for my subcommittee, if it's okay, I'd like to make Shawnee the vice chair of that subcommittee, because she has so many ideas. And then maybe Shawnee, eventually you could become the chair, because I'm already the co-chair of the whole committee. So, that could get you, but it's up to you. I'm not trying to.
I will be honored. Thank you.
Okay, so make you the vice chair for now, and I'll finish my part, and then you could be the chair of the subcommittee. Because I think you're really extremely knowledgeable on this topic.
She is in a lot of different areas. We have several people on the council that have a lot to give in ideals. So yes, we are very appreciative of Shawnee and all of us that have everyone that has ideals. And this is what this was for. The subcommittees kind of help to break it apart, right? And allow people, and that's why we want to continued or return back to our initial way of doing our meetings. Which I'm now transitioning to the Open Meetings Act, right? And so Azev and I were able to go over what some of the things that we had already said back when we initially started. I mean, had the notice that we were gonna be following the Open Meetings Act. We went through the process of going through, why we thought, and as well as extending out what those comments were about respecting the privacy of these meetings, right? Allowing the public to really share without feeling like, oh, it's going to be recorded, therefore it's going to be placed on the website, where maybe that information is now, unfortunately, or possibly used in a way against, instead of in support of the family, if there is some challenges within some of the services and supports they're having. But we wanted to make this a place that people are able to share what's going on, so that we are able to understand how we are to advocate to put these recommendations together. The other part of it is that as a council, we used to meet, just the council, to deal with FEC business, you know, and we can't do that right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just not what we can do. And that allowed us to plan, discuss things, maybe when even if we're trying to finalize certain things to be able to present to the public at large, we really cannot do that unless it breaks out into a breakout. You know, there's all these limitations for us to be able to really be creative, as Zeb said, to brainstorm ideals without feeling restricted by some of the limitations with the OMA. So we will be putting together a letter that will go to Bega, who's the overseer in a sense of making sure the Open Meetings Act is followed, as well as we'll send it to the DC Council. And specifically, just to give you guys some background, Craig and I did meet with Councilman Middleton, and we talked about Medicaid. We mentioned the OMA, the Open Meetings Act. And so from my perspective, there's some follow-up I need to have with him, because there was supposed to be some discussion about the Open Meetings Act that someone was working on his team. So I didn't get a chance to share all that as that, but that's another part of this that we could meet with him, you know what I'm saying, again, to really hone in on that piece. Because the other parts were that he did refer us to, who's the other council member that's for health, human, what is her name?
Christina Henderson.
Huh?
Christina Henderson.
Yes, thank you. It just slipped my mind. That he was he had suggested her and us speaking to her about some of the other issues, being the Medicaid is what we were talking to him about. So there's some logistical work too to be done as for the Open Meetings Act. Again, I know that Zeb and myself have given recommendations to all three of these. I mean, you know, in some shape or form over the time frame. Now, I would ask this. I heard Craig say, it sounds like got a good meat, you know, good full plate, you know what I'm saying, of recommendations that probably need you know, some further explanation and detail too. And Adrian said she was going to compile what you already have discussed. Is that correct?
Well, I was hoping, because we were, there were still a few more items from all of us that were relevant that we didn't have time to just present to the group. So I don't know if we will be able to do this one more time so that we can put our recommendations, so we can just tighten it up a lot more than what it actually is, because we're close. But in terms of actually writing it out and laying it out in that form that's needed, I think we need a little bit more time. Daisy's put a lot of time into this, Chioma, as well as myself. So I don't know how we can work that out. But I'd like for what we present to Medicaid for those agencies, that it be really, really, really clear and well defined. If that's
Right.
possible.
Okay, is there any way that Daisy, or well, Chioma, I would say, and Daisy, I think we can work together of giving those other recommendations that they may have via email?
Yeah.
So that at least when we come back to our, what is this, February meeting, that we have something to share with the group, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where we want to get, is where we
Right.
want to share with the group.
And I would ask, and I don't know if this is possible. I do have a conference line. My Zoom is down. I mean, I can do it, but we'd only have, well, we would have some time on the Zoom. I do have a Zoom account still, but it's not the full bodied. But maybe the three of us can come together and put, you know, just have a little bit more time to do that, if that's okay with
Yeah,
you
if
and
you
Craig.
need be, I can assist with making.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can also create
Oh.
a Zoom link if
That would
you.
be great. That would be great. So,
Thank
Daisy and Chioma, I will reach out to both of you independently. I'll make sure that Rhonda and Craig are in the loop with what we're doing and when we're doing it, and we'll just move from there so that we have something in place as well.
Okay.
Sounds like a
If
plan.
you have a time for a meeting, I can just email the link too, so you can use it.
Okay,
Or if you want to just send it, however you want to take the lead on it.
that's perfect.
Thanks, Fiona and Adrian and Daisy and whomever else. You, do you remember who Catherine raising your hand? Yes, Catherine, is this something you wanted to add to what's being discussed? But just before you talk, Adrian, weren't there was it just the three of you? I thought you had a few other.
Pam, I'm sorry, Pam.
Yeah.
Pam, please
So,
forgive me.
yeah.
I've
so-
got to make sure that I thank you for that.
Yeah, so,
And I just
I'm
need to make
fine.
sure
I
I get
got
Pam, can you send me
Did
your
you-
contact information in the chat so that I
Yes.
have it? That would be wonderful.
Welcome
Okay.
aboard,
Forgive
Pam.
me. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. That was my fault.
Yeah, Catherine, what
Okay.
were you gonna say?
Oh, my comment.
Okay.
A couple things. So if you think of as you're developing recommendations, you can always go back to the agencies and say, can you clarify this? Like if it's something that you want to ask some more questions as you're thinking about the recommendations and the points you want to make, that is always an option. And I can help you get connected with some of the folks if needed that we've had come talk with the Family Support Council or try to help you figure out who could answer the question if that's something that's useful in that process. And thinking about or kind of ensuring as a group that when you're making the recommendations, it's about something that's in the scope of control of whoever of the agency, like to help kind of think through, is this the recommendation that we're making and we're sending to, healthcare finance or sending to the police, is our comment about something that they do, just to make sure that and there may be things that are kind of cross system where it's, it's police and it's DBH and you have like 3 different players in it where you might want to send a copy to several different agencies. But I think that's something that's good to just keep in mind or kind of look at what the content is and whose decisions are affecting the things that are important to you, which might be multiple players.
For sure. I think that because if we just talk about Medicaid, there's HSCSN, there's all kinds of things that, other players. And even if we say DBH, depending on what you're talking about. But yes, then the other thing that I wanted to share too, we are coming upon that lovely season of testimonies, all the budget hearings, oversight hearings, all of those things. And I know that the leadership team has already did some talking about how we're, as the leadership team, going to testify, but wanted to make sure that those who were wanting to testify, that we made ourselves available to assist, support. Craig and I will be talking more of the general aspect of Family Support Council and the things that we've seen, in our dealings with, for me, from the, I won't say past, but being able to show our historical process to where we are today and what we've accomplished in the past and what we're doing today and what we have seen in the community, right? So we'll be talking more of the global thing of, here are what we're seeing, hearing, and recommendations we've given. Was there anyone else planning to, thank you, Catherine. I think Catherine has put the hearing dates, as a link to it.
So you will have to search, you will have to look through the committees, the way this is set up, to find the one that you're looking for if you are wanting to testify related to a particular agency. You'll kind of have to look down the schedule or search by that agency.
I think February 12th is what is it? Family Services, Human.
Family, it's
PBH is
family
next
health.
week, the 3rd.
I'm sorry, what is, hon? Say again?
DVH is on the 3rd, the oversight.
Okay, DVH is the 3rd. Is anyone else planning to or remember there's options of how you testify. You can, go before them. I think they're offering both opportunities. You can go in person and Zoom. So those are options. And of course, you can submit your testimony in writing, or you can have someone read it for you. So please remember all of those options. And if you are interested in those opportunities, please let us know and how we might support you in doing that. Any questions concerning that? Any comments?
So when you, I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
So when you're submitting a written testimony, is that link that Catherine just shared, is that information in the link, Catherine? So if someone does want to do a written testimony, where does that written testimony go?
Yeah, I'm not
Or-
sure.
I can, if you want me to share I can pop up what you get.
Sure.
Yeah, it's there.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's there somewhere.
Yeah,
I just
it's
don't know
there.
exactly where. You know what I'm saying?
Once
Because
you click on that hearing date, it'll ask you how you want to do it, and then there's a few buttons like upload. I think it says like upload my testimony. Um,
I'm looking at it now too.
it, all that good stuff. It's there though.
It's
All right.
it's on that site that Catherine just left us, right?
Yes, if you click on that
Okay.
link, you find the
Okay.
actual committee you want to testify. Is there.
Okay, perfect.
But it's, oops, so yeah, my boxes are in the way, but you can see the submit testimony box up here.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can see some of the topics. I just picked the first one that popped up. This is housing. So if you click on submit testimony, oops, if my stuff will scroll, we'll see if my stuff will scroll, live, record, what type of witness you are.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yes,
So we can
you
have
copy
that.
and paste your testimony there. Yep. So that's
Okay.
what it looks like.
Thank you for sharing that and Shawnee explaining some of the details. And also I do want to say this, obviously we're aware of the work we've all been doing. But also if there was certain areas, I do want to ask this of anyone, if there were certain areas that you felt like that we needed to pinpoint, even though we have been talking about a lot of different things and recommendations and suggestions over the year, let alone 6 months, but that you would suggest that we pinpoint outside of what we're already doing. Maybe there's something that's come up recently that we have not talked about, or an issue that's going on right now that we're not all aware of, or at least the leadership team, as we move forward in this time of testimonies. Okay. All right. Well, it is 2:29. Wowzers. Look at us. That's what I was attempting to do, and I already lost track that I was trying to find the date for the next meeting. Hello. So the next meeting is, be patient with me, February 27th, which it should be on everyone's calendar. Everyone look on their calendars right now, so we
I
can
don't know how
make
to do
sure
that, but I'll look.
that we, oh, I know, Daisy. So we can make sure that everyone's getting the messages and knows what time meetings are, and even the emails and things. Linda, did you see that? I don't know if you got we got your new email address, so forget it. I don't think I shared it with Catherine yet. So we'll send it, I'll share that new email address with Catherine, and I will be sending this afternoon or sometime today a contact list, so everybody has everyone's phone number and email address. So, we all can stay connected. If you need help with something, if you're trying to get online and need some help to get on the meeting, that we just reach out to each other to get the support you need. Because it is challenging when I'm facilitating to do so. Adrian, it sounds like you wanted to say something.
Oh, I was just I
Okay.
am just trying to make sure that I have Chioma's, I have Pam's info, and I just want to make sure that Chioma, you send me back your info as well. I have it, but I just want to cross-check it for myself, if that's okay with
I'm
you.
gonna put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so like I said, I'll be sending a contact list so everybody has each other's information.
Okay, good. Okay, well, that's fine. That's
So-
perfect. Thank you.
Yes, and Chioma, if you could, I'm assuming it's the same thing I've been contacting you, but if there's I know you had a couple, I have a couple different email addresses for you, but I've been using the same one, which is the way I've been getting in contact with you, but just want to make sure. All right, any last, tomorrow, caregiver event, 10 p.m. at DDS.
10 a.m.
I
a.m.
mean,
not p.m.
PM, yes.
No,
a.m.
what did I say? I'm so sorry. Thank you for putting me sick. 10 a.m. tomorrow. It is a dialogue between caregivers and agency leaders. And so we will have a exclusively only caregiver conversation to discuss the challenges and needs that you have as a caregiver. We're talking about you, the caregiver, okay?
Okay.
For those who are caregivers. And the second part is a parent World Cafe, excuse me, with the caregiver and the agency leaders to have the dialogue. And there is a resource fair thereafter. There are some exhibit tables of agencies and organizations that will be there. So please spread the word and please attend. And then after that will be just keep your email up and running. Because we got lots of work and things to do.
Oh my God, I would love to be there tomorrow, but I have another meeting tomorrow at the school.
Oh, okay, but I'm sure in the future we'll be doing something. I'm sorry, it is being hosted by the DC Community of Practice Supporting Families, which is a group of agency organizations and community programs that come together as the community of practice. So I'm sorry you'll miss it, Pam, Pamela, but hopefully I don't know when, but we'll be having something thereafter. Everyone also be alerted, the month of March is Developmental Disability Awareness Month, and there's definitely lots of events going on there. There's a couple of things I need to give to that committee that my Family Ties of DC will be doing. And I'm hoping in March that the goal is that I was hoping we could put on that program for that month is that we would be sharing our recommendations. That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yes.
At the
That'd
March,
be-
that Family Support Councils, even if it's not all three groups, if it's just one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I would like to be able to do for that month. It's March. We've submitted and we're talking about those recommendations we submitted, and hopefully we have one of those representation from those agencies there for what we're recommending. All right. I thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and everyone knows my name, numbers, and how to get in contact with me. Some know both numbers, oh Lord, but you're welcome to call me if you need anything. I'm laughing, but I'm very, very serious. So you all have a great day, and I so appreciate everyone's participation. I'm sure I share that with Craig as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Huh? Oh, I thought somebody said my name. All right.
It was so good. Thank you guys. Rona was
You have
great.
something to
Yes.
say? Azeb? I'm sorry. Did I miss?
Nothing, no.
Oh, okay.
So that
All right.
was-
Wish you well tomorrow. I hope the progress accomplished all your tasks. All right.
Right.
Bye-bye.
I'll be on
bye-bye.
early in the morning for tomorrow too. But I'll be on Zoom. Yep. Thank you guys.